Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Greetings to all parents, graduates, members of the senior executive team of the university, academics, and all distinguished guests present here tonight. Getting an academic qualification is important, and it takes a lot of sacrifice and energy. So all of you who are graduating this evening have done very well. Congratulations. I love graduation ceremonies, but if truth be told, while I love graduation ceremonies, I hate graduation speeches. They are often too long and boring, and my suspicion is that many graduates are not even interested in them. So graduation speeches are like a necessary evil. Everyone wants it to be done, but nobody wants to hear it. So when I was asked to do this graduation address, I thought I should talk about the two things that I wish someone had told me on my graduation day. So in a sense, I thought I should give a graduation speech that I would have liked to have on my graduation day. And so it's two things that I wish someone told me on my day of graduation. I know that you might be bored, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to tell you when I get to number 2, so that you realize that the end is nigh. So here we go. The first thing that I wish someone told me on my day of graduation is, how can I, as a graduate, ensure that I remain employable, even in the midst of other graduates who have the same qualifications and skills as I have? How can I make sure that I remain an employee of choice in this competitive world that we live in? Okay, so let me start by asking you to think a little bit in the future. I know it's your graduation day today, but work with me here. Think a little bit in the future. Pretend it's next Monday, and you're walking into your workplace, and all of a sudden, you realize that your company is going through a few changes. Maybe they're not such good changes. Maybe your company is going through some downsizing, maybe some reorganization, maybe some retrenchments. Well, maybe it's good changes. Maybe your company is making decisions about who to promote, or who to give increases to, or who to give bonuses to. That would be a good Monday, wouldn't it? But whatever the changes, maybe it's good changes or new opportunities, the senior management of your company is sitting in a room, and they have lots of personnel files in front of them, and they are making some decisions. They're making decisions about who to do things to, who to promote, who to retrench, who to give bonuses to, and your name comes up. All of a sudden, your file is in front of the CEO, and your name is the one being discussed in the room. Let me ask you one question. So what are they saying? How many people in this room would fight for you at this moment? How many people in your senior management team would fight to keep you on their team? Fight to give you a raise? Fight to give you some opportunities for promotion? Or fight to give you a bonus? How many in the room sitting with your file on the table? Just think a little bit about that. I'm sure many of you would like to stay employed if you're already employed. If you're not, you're probably looking for a job and would love to be employed. Of course, many young graduates think that they do not have to care about being employed because they are going to be the employer. I used to think that way. It's not a bad idea at all. However, we know that not all of us become employers. A large majority of us are employed. And many of those who are unemployed are looking for employment. And of course, many of us do not just want to stay employed, but we also want to move ahead, get better opportunities. The bottom line is that we all need the money we get from our employment. So it is important that we learn what employers, managers, business owners, and CEOs want in an employee. What is it about an employee that will make any manager fight to keep them on their staff? Is it your qualifications? Is it your experience, your technical skills? In my view, Qualifications, experience, and technical skills are hugely important, but they are not sufficient guarantee that someone will fight to keep you on their team. Let's think about it a little bit differently. If you were a CEO or a business owner, and you have in front of you 2 employees, both of them technically competent, which one would you fight to keep? How would you make that choice? All companies have in mind what they want from an employee. Most of the things they want are not just about qualifications, experience, and technical skills, but they're about values and attitude. Of course, as an employee, there are also things that you want from your employer. And so for many of us, a good salary is not all that we need from an employer. That is why sometimes we turn down good job offers with higher salaries, perhaps because the values of the company do not resonate with our values. And so we say, let the job pass with a nice salary. We want a company whose values resonate with ours. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in an unbelievably competitive world right now. There are many unemployed graduates today. The situation is so serious that we even have an organization for unemployed graduates in this country of ours. Many companies are struggling to survive, and at the same time, employees are demanding more pay. There are more strikes today for higher wages than we have seen in the last 20 years of our democracy. For you and I to be able to go to work and do the jobs that we must do, in order to stay employable and be successful, we have to be able to walk into work feeling good about ourselves. So the first criteria on being an employee, on being an employee of choice and being successful has nothing to do with the degree or diploma that you're getting tonight or your technical skills, but it's more about your values and attitude. The moment you walk into your workplace, your company has a right to expect and demand that you give them 100% of your energy. This does not mean that the only life you have is the life at work. However, we cannot use the things that happen in our personal lives as an excuse for delivering excellent work. I made a decision a long time ago to be happy at work, irrespective of the circumstances, and to be happy about my work, irrespective of what happens around me. I get to my work every morning at 5:30 simply because I love what I do and I look forward to doing it. And that is not a feeling, it's a decision that I love what I do and I look forward to doing it. The day I stop loving what I do, I will resign. I told my boss that. The day I don't like what I'm doing, I'm going to resign. And that's my decision. What I'm trying to say to you is that it is your responsibility to make your job enjoyable. You see, when you and I walk out of our houses every morning, we have 2 choices. We can walk out of our houses, go to work, and decide that day to be friendly, happy, productive, cooperative, helpful, caring, resilient human being. That is one choice. Or we can leave our houses, go to work, and decide to be negative, complaining, angry, jealous, victim, defensive, uncooperative, unproductive, unhappy, bitter, hostile person. That's a choice. My advice to you this evening is that if you want to figure out how to be a successful person at work, here it is. Figure out how to come to work and be a happy, positive person. If you cannot be a happy and positive person at work, then act like a happy, positive person. I promise you, many people don't care which one it is anymore. All they want is a happy, positive person to work with. Your company has a right to expect and demand that from the moment you walk into work, you are a productive, fairly positive, good, hardworking person who likes to share information, work as a team, and strives to do the very best they can for the company or institution that you work for. How we portray ourselves as workers is important. Our values and attitude. How we come across is very important. If we stay grumpy, lazy, uncooperative, and mean, then the chances of having someone fight to keep us or fight to give us an opportunity or opportunities are reduced considerably. You need to understand that your sole reason for being in a job is to help deliver the best possible service that your company or your institution can stay, so that your company or your institution can stay financially sound. All the companies in the world have the same goal, which is to make a profit. If you work for an education institution, the goal of making a profit may not be explicitly evident to everyone, but it is there. If your school or your institution is not doing well academically, then there are possibilities that you will not get students, or perhaps you will not get the quality of students you want, which may have a negative impact on your income and thus threaten your existence. You know, making a profit has got such a bad image. I have had people say to me, nobody wants to talk about making a profit. It's as if it's a sin. And people say to me, come on, Gethi, I cannot believe that my company is worried about making money or saving money. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be real. If your company stops making money, we will all lose our jobs. I do not understand why making a profit has such a negative image. I mean, all of us are working to make more money, and that's profit. We are doing the same things that our companies are doing. We are all working, hoping that we will make extra money. We are also working, hoping that the profits will increase each year. None of us just wants to break even. We all want to be able to save something and put it back into the home. So there is nothing wrong with a company needing to make profit. So think about it. If the CEO of your company called you in and said to you, please explain to me how your job and your contribution to this company are a direct link to our clients and allows us to stay stable and increase our financial growth, what would you say? The truth is that many people do not know how to answer this question. In my view, there are only two ways you can help your company reach their goals. And your job or contribution should be linked to one or both of these things. You must be able to prove that your job or your contribution helps your company either to save money or to make money. If you cannot do one of these two things in your job, then I can tell you now that your job is in serious jeopardy. The fact that you have a qualification or degree is not a good enough reason why anybody should keep you on their staff. You see, the problem is that we can train for skill and technical ability, but we cannot train for attitude. There's no cure for bad attitude. But if you don't know something, we can mentor you, we can train you, we can coach you, and so forth. But if you have a bad attitude, there's no cure. So while you get your degree tonight, please also know that while it may open many doors for you, it is not the answer to everything. Its worth will come from how you use it, which means how you behave, your attitude. So make the most of the degree or the diploma that you're getting tonight. We're done with number one. I'm going to number two now. The end is nigh. Just hang in there. Number two, remember, these are the things that I wish someone had told me on my graduation day, and I learned them through life. And I'm sharing them with you because I wish someone did me this favor. Number two, your actions, right or wrong, have consequences. When you choose an action, you choose the consequences. And that's just how adulthood works. Your parents, your friends, your husband, your wife, your children, society, the government, the president, the business world, no one but you is responsible for how you behave. You are not a victim. The single most important determining factor in your life is you. And it is never too late or too early to act your ethical act together. Be strong about what you believe in. Know what you will and will not do to get ahead. Know what you can and cannot live with. Because life out there will test your ethics and therefore teach you ethics every day. Other people's ethics do not have to be yours. You and you alone are responsible for how you behave. It is true that you have learned the rules of the game in your chosen field, but if you ignore what you know to be the difference between right and wrong, you will pay a huge price. And I'm not just talking about losing sleep. So think about what you're willing to do to get ahead. To what lengths will you go? The ethical and spiritual lessons that you have learned from your parents, your teachers, your professors, your religion are internalized, and they keep talking back at you, guiding you through life. The problem is hearing it. So when the pressure is intense out there, and it does get intense, you have to take time to stop and have a conversation with yourself, reflecting on what your own values are. And the process never stops. The world out there is rife with bribery, fraud, and scandal, and every kind of white-collar crime. The pressure and the temptation to fall into the trap is great. But when I say your behavior has consequences, I'm not just talking about going to jail or losing sleep. I'm talking about your good name, your reputation. It is much bigger than the job. It is much bigger than the deal. It is much bigger than the promotion or the money. It is who you are. So don't give it away so fast. That's it, the two things. Those are just the two things that I wish someone had told me on my day of graduation. I've got a long list of them, and I keep writing them as I go through life because I think it's important to keep track of what is it that I'm learning in my journey. I wish I could tell each and every one of you that just because you're a graduate, you will achieve greatness in whatever you do. Let me be the first to tell you that you may not, but you can achieve happiness and a rich life by taking your time, working hard, really hard, and getting down on your knees every now and then to thank God for what you have and to ask Him for the faith, the love, the guidance, and humility we all need to get through this life. Each and every one of you is a powerful and resilient human being, capable of living the life you design yourself. It is within you to carve out your own future and create your own destiny. You are in a wonderful moment, alive with possibility. Just try to keep this feeling of endless possibility alive as long as possible. I wish you, all of you, the strength, the faith, the courage to succeed in this world. So go out there, be free, and achieve it. Congratulations.